Food is a universal word, but sometimes what is considered a delicacy in one culture can spark controversy or even be banned elsewhere. When culinary traditions push boundaries, using ingredients deemed dangerous, unethical, or hazardous, governments step in to draw the line. These banned and controversial foods challenge our perceptions of what is edible. From rare bushmeat and raw milk to unexpected items like poppy seeds and ketchup, the world's most forbidden foods tell fascinating stories about culture, safety, and taste. Are you ready to discover the 16 most surprising banned dishes around the globe? How many have you dared to try? Number 16. Foie gras. Once upon a time, in the ancient lands of Egypt, around 2500 BC, farmers discovered a curious secret. Migratory ducks and geese naturally stored fat in their livers. Inspired, they began confining these birds and feeding them extra grain to enlarge their livers, creating what would become known as foie gras, a fat-livered delicacy cherished for its rich, buttery flavor. This practice, called gavage or force-feeding, involved carefully inserting a tube down the bird's throat several times a day to deliver a high-energy diet, mostly corn, causing the liver to grow up to 10 times its normal size. The technique spread through ancient Greece and Rome, evolving over centuries into a culinary art form, especially embraced in France, where foie gras is now a protected cultural treasure. Today, foie gras is crafted with skill and patience. Ducks and geese are raised initially in open-air environments, enjoying outdoor runs and natural conditions. After about 80 to 90 days, they enter a fattening phase, in which their diet is intensified to prepare for garvage. Once the birds are humanely slaughtered, their livers are carefully removed and processed into various delicacies, like whole foie gras, mousse, parfait, or pâté, often served alongside fine dishes such as steak, or with toast and fig confit. Yet this tradition carries controversy. Animal welfare advocates argue that force-feeding causes undue suffering, as the birds are confined and subjected to an unnatural feeding process that enlarges their livers unnaturally. Some countries have banned foie gras production or sales due to these concerns, sparking ongoing debates about the ethics of this ancient delicacy. Thus, foie gras remains a symbol of both culinary heritage and ethical debate, a rich, buttery treasure born from a practice dating back millennia, continuing to evoke passion and controversy in kitchens and courts around the world. Number 15. Ortolan bunting. The Ortolan bunting, Emberiza hortolana, is a small Eurasian bird known for its subtle greenish-gray head and chestnut belly. It belongs to the bunting family Emberizidae and inhabits open fields, forest edges, and cultivated lands across Europe and Western Asia. The bird migrates to Africa for the winter. The name Ortolan comes from Middle French Ortolan, meaning gardener, reflecting its presence in farmland landscapes. This unassuming bird gained notoriety in French cuisine, where it is traditionally cooked and eaten whole. Diners often cover their heads with a napkin while eating, a ritual said to enhance the sensory experience and conceal the act from view. However, this culinary demand severely depleted French ortolan populations, prompting a hunting ban in 1999. Despite the ban, illegal hunting persisted, with estimates of up to 50,000 birds killed annually during migration, mainly from northern breeding grounds in Finland and the Baltics. The decline was stark, a 30% population drop in France between 1997 and 2007 led the government to pledge stricter enforcement and fines of up to €6,000 for violations. Conservation efforts emphasized protecting the bird's habitat, including traditional agricultural landscapes crucial for its survival during breeding and wintering periods. The Ortolan story is a poignant example of how cultural traditions can impact wildlife and the ongoing struggle to balance heritage with conservation. Number 14. Fugu, pufferfish. In the waters of East Asia swims a curious fish known by many names. Fugu in Japan, bogoyu or bok in Korea, and hetun in China. This pufferfish, belonging mainly to the genus Fugu and its relatives, are no ordinary fishes. When threatened, it inflates like a balloon, a defense that masks a far more dangerous secret. Within its body lurks tetrodotoxin, a poison so potent it can be fatal to humans. For centuries, daring chefs have taken on the challenge of transforming this perilous creature into a celebrated delicacy. The preparation of fugu demands extraordinary skill and caution. Only those who have undergone rigorous training for 3 or more years are licensed to serve it in restaurants across Japan, Korea, and beyond. Even with such care, accidents occasionally occur when the fish is prepared at home. Fugu is enjoyed in various forms, from thinly sliced sashimi to warming hot pot dishes known as nabemono. Once, the liver, known as fugu kimo, was prized for its rich flavor, but it is also the most toxic part, leading to its ban from restaurant menus in Japan since 1984. Despite these risks, fugu has become a symbol of culinary adventure and refinement, deeply woven into Japanese and Korean food cultures, and increasingly appreciated in Chinese cuisine as well. Number 13. Tonka beans. In the lush rainforests of South America grows the tonka bean, a small wrinkled seed with a captivating story. Known for its complex scent, a blend of almond, vanilla, caramel, and a hint of spice, this bean has enchanted perfumers and chefs alike for centuries. The French in particular fell in love with it, dubbing their obsession fièvre tonka, or Tonka fever. Traditionally, indigenous peoples used it for medicine and rituals, while Europe embraced it for perfumes and gourmet dishes. However, the tonka bean's journey in the United States took a twist. In 1954, the FDA banned its use in commercial foods due to coumarin, a compound in the bean linked to liver damage in animals. Despite this, small amounts used in cooking are now considered safe, and enforcement of the ban has waned. This has allowed innovative chefs like Thea Gould in Brooklyn and Anna Castro in New Orleans to rediscover tonka's magic. Gould uses it as a nut substitute in panna cotta and whipped cream, while Castro infuses it into custards and cakes, highlighting its grassy, fruity notes. At New York's Muscat Room, pastry chef Kamari Mick balances tonka's richness with citrus in elegant desserts. Today, the tonka bean quietly returns to American kitchens, its warm, sweet aroma weaving stories of tradition, controversy, and culinary creativity. Number 12. Bushmeat. Illegal trade in wild animal meat, known as bushmeat, is far more widespread than many people realize. At first glance, hunting wild animals and selling their meat might seem harmless, but this practice poses serious threats to biodiversity and public health. Bushmeat is a broad term that refers to meat from wild reptiles, mammals, birds, and amphibians living in wetlands, jungles, and savannas. This means that everything from bats and snakes to wild boars, giraffes, and even elephants can be considered bushmeat. While some species, like boar or snake, might not seem unusual, the unregulated trade in bushmeat carries significant risks. In the United States, bringing bushmeat into the country is illegal because it can harbor deadly diseases like Ebola, which can spread from animals to humans. The CDC warns that Ebola infections have been linked to hunting, butchering, and processing infected wild animals. Even handling bushmeat without eating it can pose health risks. They emphasize the importance of wearing gloves and disinfecting surfaces when dealing with bushmeat to prevent contamination. Beyond health dangers, the bushmeat trade severely impacts wildlife populations, driving many species toward extinction due to overhunting and illegal poaching. This trade often operates covertly, making enforcement difficult and allowing unsustainable harvesting of protected and vulnerable species. The demand for bushmeat is growing, especially in urban areas and international markets, where it is sometimes considered a delicacy, further intensifying pressure on wildlife. Number 11. Haggis. Haggis, Scotland's national dish, is a savory pudding made from sheep's offal, heart, liver, and lungs, minced and mixed with beef suet, onions, oatmeal, and spices, then traditionally encased in a sheep's stomach and boiled. The dish has a rich, crumbly texture and a robust flavor, though its appearance may not be immediately appealing. Haggis has been a cherished part of Scottish culture for centuries and was famously celebrated by the poet Robert Burns in his 1786 poem Address to a Haggis, which helped secure its place in Burns' night festivities. The origins of haggis trace back to practical necessity, as it made use of perishable offal quickly cooked inside a natural casing, a method dating to ancient times. Today, many commercially available haggis use artificial casings instead of a sheep's stomach. In the United States, traditional haggis is banned due to the USDA's prohibition on sheep lungs since 1971, citing health concerns. As a result, authentic haggis cannot be imported or made in the U.S., though lung-free versions exist. Despite this, haggis remains beloved worldwide, admired by food enthusiasts and culinary figures like Anthony Bourdain, inviting adventurous diners to experience this iconic Scottish delicacy. Number 10. Raw milk. Milk was enjoyed fresh from the farm, untouched by heat or processing. This raw milk, straight from cows, goats, or sheep, carried with it a natural charm and a promise of health benefits. However, science began to uncover a darker side. Raw milk can harbor dangerous germs like Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, and Campylobacter, which can cause serious illness. Numerous studies and outbreaks have shown that drinking raw milk poses significant health risks, especially to children, pregnant women, the elderly, and those with weakened immune systems. To protect people, pasteurization was introduced, a process discovered by Louis Pasteur in the 19th century that gently heats milk to kill harmful pathogens without stripping away its nutritional value. Thanks to pasteurization, milk-borne diseases have dramatically decreased since the early 1900s, offering a safe way to enjoy milk's benefits without the risk of infection. Despite this, a debate continues in the United States. Some consumers seek raw milk for its claimed health benefits, believing it to be more nutritious and beneficial than pasteurized milk. Advocates argue that carefully produced raw milk contains enzymes and probiotics that support the immune system and gut health. However, government officials and scientific researchers emphasize that these benefits lack solid scientific proof, and the risks of consuming raw milk outweigh any potential advantages. Raw milk accounts for a small fraction of milk consumption in the U.S., but demand has grown in recent years. This has led to regulatory challenges as authorities weigh food safety concerns against consumer choice. Many states restrict or ban raw milk sales, while others allow it under strict conditions, such as direct farm sales. Number 9. Kinder Surprise Eggs. Kinder Surprise eggs are a beloved treat worldwide, chocolate shells hiding a small toy inside, sparking joy and curiosity. However, in the United States, these eggs are banned. A 1938 law prohibits any candy containing a non-nutritive object embedded inside due to choking hazards. The FDA enforces this strictly, fearing that small toy parts inside the chocolate could be swallowed by young children, posing serious risks. Over the years, there have been tragic incidents linked to these toys, including several child deaths in Europe, which reinforced the FDA's caution. Kinder Surprise eggs are legal in Canada and Mexico, but importing them into the U.S. can lead to confiscation and hefty fines. Not wanting to give up on the American market, Ferrero created Kinder Joy, a clever alternative where the toy and chocolate are separated into two compartments within a plastic, egg-shaped package. This design complies with U.S. regulations, allowing kids to enjoy the treats safely without the embedded toy risk. So, while the classic Kinder Surprise remains off U.S. shelves, Kinder Joy brings a similar delight, ensuring American children don't miss out entirely on this unique chocolate and tea experience. Number 8. Ackee. Ackee is celebrated as Jamaica's national fruit and is a beloved ingredient in its signature dish, ackee and saltfish. It holds a secret that keeps it banned in the United States. This vibrant fruit, with its bright red rind that splits open to reveal creamy yellow flesh and shiny black seeds, can be deadly if eaten before it is fully ripe. The danger lies in a toxin called hypoglycin A, which is found in high amounts in the unripe fruit, its seeds and rind. This toxin is heat-stable, meaning cooking does not destroy it. Eating unripe ackee can cause severe hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, leading to symptoms such as confusion, dizziness, seizures, liver damage, and even death. Because of these risks, the U.S. the Food and Drug Administration prohibits the import of fresh ackee and strictly regulates canned or frozen forms. In Jamaica, however, the fruit is safely enjoyed because locals know the signs of ripeness. The ackee fruit must open naturally on the tree, exposing the pale yellow arils, the edible part, with black seeds. If the fruit remains closed or the arils are discolored, it is unsafe to eat. Only properly ripened and prepared ackee is free from harmful toxins and packed with beneficial fatty acids. So, while you can savor this Caribbean delicacy in Jamaica, you must be absolutely sure the ackee is ripe and prepared correctly. Otherwise, this national treasure can quickly turn from a tasty treat into a dangerous poison. Number 7. Shark fins. Shark finning is the practice of removing fins from sharks and discarding the rest of the shark back into the ocean. This act is prohibited in many countries. Often, the sharks are still alive when discarded, but without their fins. Unable to swim effectively, they sink to the bottom of the ocean and die from suffocation or are eaten by other predators. Shark finning at sea allows fishing vessels to increase profitability and the number of sharks harvested, as they only need to store and transport the fins, the most valuable part of the shark, while the bulky shark meat is difficult to transport. Many countries have banned this practice and require the whole shark to be brought back to port before removing the fins. Shark finning has caused catastrophic harm to the marine ecosystem. Approximately 73 to 100 million sharks are killed each year due to finning. A variety of shark species are threatened by this practice, including the critically endangered scalloped hammerhead shark. By 2013, 27 countries and the European Union had banned shark finning. However, international waters remain unregulated. International fishing authorities are considering banning shark fishing and finning in the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. Finning is banned in the Eastern Pacific, but shark fishing and finning continue unabated in most parts of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. In countries such as Thailand and Singapore, public awareness campaigns about finning have reportedly reduced consumption by 25%. Number 6. Poppy seeds. The opium poppy plant, known to botanists and native Latin speakers as Papaver somniferum, is the source of poppy seeds. The power of this plant is hinted at in the second part of its name, which means sleep maker. Poppy seeds are banned in several countries, including Singapore, China, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Taiwan. In Taiwan, for example, a bagel shop owner in Taipei was convicted of drug possession for buying 22 kilograms of poppy seeds. Many other countries also prohibit the cultivation of poppies because the plants can be used to produce heroin as well as poppy seeds. In India, especially in Bengal, poppy seeds are considered one of the most exotic spices. However, they are banned in Singapore and Taiwan due to their morphine content. The Central Narcotics Bureau in Singapore reportedly classifies poppy seeds as prohibited goods. They are also banned in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. In Russia, although poppy cultivation is allegedly illegal, selling poppy seeds is not prohibited. Number 5. Sugar sprinkles. In Leeds, a bakery named Get Baked found itself at the center of an unusual controversy in October 2021. The bakery had been using vibrant American rainbow sprinkles on its popular treats, unaware that these colorful sugar shades contained a dye called E127 erythrocin, or red dye number 3, which is banned in the UK and EU for most food uses, This dye has been linked to hyperactivity in children and potential thyroid issues, leading to strict regulations allowing its use only in candied and cocktail cherries. When a customer reported the sprinkles, West Yorkshire Trading Standards intervened, forcing the bakery to stop using the illegal American sprinkles. The owner, passionate about his sprinkles, lamented the loss but ultimately switched to a new E127 free version to keep his cakes vibrant and compliant with UK food laws. This incident, dubbed Sprinklegate, highlighted the complexities of food additive regulations between the US and Europe. Number 4. Casu marzu. In the heart of Sardinia, there is a cheese unlike any other, Casu marzu, which means rotten cheese. This traditional delicacy begins as pecorino, a hard sheep's milk cheese. Then, something extraordinary happens. The cheese is left out in the open, inviting cheese flies to lay their eggs inside. As the larvae hatch, they burrow into the cheese, digesting its fats and transforming it into a soft, creamy, and intensely flavored treat. The cheese becomes so soft that it oozes a liquid called lagrima, or tears, signaling that it is ready to eat. Sardinians often enjoy casu marzu with flatbread and strong red wine, savoring its bold, spicy taste. What makes casu marzu truly unique and controversial is that it is usually eaten with the live larvae still wriggling inside. These maggots can survive the harsh environment of the stomach, potentially reaching the intestines and causing harm by attacking organs. Because of these health risks, casu marzu is banned across the European Union and the United States, and its sale is illegal even in Italy, though locals still cherish it as part of their cultural heritage. Number 3. Irn-Bru. Not everyone outside Scotland is familiar with Irn-Bru, the neon turman fizzy drink famous as a hangover cure. That's partly because it is banned in some places, including Canada. The reason? The classic Irn-Bru recipe contains a food coloring called Ponceau 4R, which has been linked to increased hyperactivity in children. Due to these concerns, Canada restricts its sale but allows versions of Irn-Bru made without this additive. Even in Scotland, the drink has faced unusual bans, such as at a golf resort, worried that its bright color might stain the carpets. So, while Irn-Bru is a beloved Scottish icon, its bold hue and ingredients have made it controversial beyond its homeland. Number 2. Chewing gum. In 1992, Singapore took a bold step to keep its streets spotless by banning the sale, import, and manufacture of chewing gum. The decision came after repeated problems. Gum stuck on subway door sensors disrupted the mass rapid transit system, and discarded gum littered public spaces, causing costly cleaning and maintenance issues. Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong enacted the ban to protect public infrastructure and maintain the city's famed cleanliness. However, in 2004, the government slightly softened the rule, allowing therapeutic gums, such as nicotine or dental gum, to be sold by pharmacists under strict control. Travelers are also permitted to bring a small amount of gum for personal use, but selling or importing gum remains illegal and can lead to heavy fines. This unique law reflects Singapore's commitment to order and cleanliness, making it one of the world's most distinctive public policies. Number 1. Ketchup. Ketchup has been at the center of many food controversies over the years. In France, it was once banned from primary school meals due to concerns about its nutritional value. In the UK, 2 Premier League football managers banned ketchup from their club canteens, highlighting its divisive reputation even in sports culture. Perhaps the most notable international dispute occurred in Israel, where authorities ruled that Heinz had to label its product as tomato seasoning instead of ketchup because it did not contain enough tomatoes to meet the official definition. This ruling underscored the complexities of food labeling and ingredient standards, turning a simple condiment into a symbol of regulatory scrutiny and culinary debate.